Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Soup!
Right to the point.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to SMSoup, the number 5 podcast.
Who's 1 through 4?
And the number 1 podcast with soup in the name, but not on the brain. I'm Spencer.
I'm Shelby.
And together we're here to take you on a journey through life's biggest questions, including, but not limited to, questions such as, waiter, how is the soup made? Shelby, how are you?
I'm good. If I were to sum up what the past 24 hours have been between recordings, I would say about the same. So go listen to last week's episode.
Yeah. I am planning on talking 0% of this episode.
Good luck with that.
Starting
I don't believe you.
now.
I don't believe you in the slightest. I'm going to say one thing, and you're going to go, and here's what I have to say about that. That's what's going to happen. All right. We're really committing to this. All right. Okay. All right. Well, let's just get right into it, because there's really nothing.
I'm joking. I'm going to talk for 51%.
There's really nothing to talk about in terms of just getting into it, because there's no updates.
Oh, like our niceties and whatnot?
Yeah, there's no nicety. Nothing is nice today. Nothing is nice today.
You didn't ask me how I've been the past 24
How
hours.
have you been the past 24 hours?
I finally got to play some more Baldur's Gate 3, and honestly, it gave me life.
Yeah. So today, we're talking about business and product reviews. And kind of the weird chokehold they have from like a shopping perspective, from a shop owner's perspective. Both. All of it. We're going to talk about it. I will say this all started with me having like a flashback moment of someone that I follow, like a business owner, was like, why do people give like 3-star reviews, and the purpose of them giving that, which they say in their review, is like, oh, I popped in really quick, but I didn't really have time to look around. 3 stars. Like, seemed great, just didn't have time to like give my full opinion. 3 stars. That like that thought randomly popped in my head a few days ago, and I was like, I need to talk about this. Because that's a crazy reason to review something. Insane reason to review something.
There are so many unhinged people.
Yes.
We've gone down rabbit holes in the past.
Yeah.
Amazon reviews.
Yes. I didn't even touch Amazon reviews. I was looking for some examples.
Yeah.
And I knew if I just
the
went.
Most classic.
Yeah.
How big is this TV?
Yep.
Don't know. Didn't buy it.
Yep.
Did you think
Do you think they were asking you?
Literally just like the most boomer approach.
It's
like,
crazy.
I love that homeowners turning into their parents' commercials.
Yeah.
Because literally like the most recent one is like, this is a search bar. This is your status bar.
Right.
Like, oh, I saw this. Shelby, you're never going to believe this. I saw this question on Amazon. Somebody was asking me how big this TV is, and
how am I supposed to know?
I didn't even buy that TV, so I let them know. Fucking insane.
Right. So, just in general, we'll say every time I say review, I am talking about both business and like product, because these very much overlap, but I might occasionally say business and or product, but I'm always talking about both. Obviously, we all know reviews are incredibly powerful. They're a basis of research that's often taken into consideration when you're choosing to like shop somewhere, buy something. What's up?
Reviews are really important, and that's why Shelby and I asked that you review this podcast wherever you listen to it.
And give us 3 stars.
Give us 3 stars and say, I didn't really have a ton of time to listen to it.
I'm only like 5 minutes in.
But it seemed good.
Yeah. So, okay. Sorry.
No, I'm sorry.
No,
that
you're
was
fine.
Unnecessary.
So that was fine.
But while you're at it, go rate and review the Good Game Bad Game podcast.
Give it 3 stars.
Give it 3 stars.
Yo, I heard about it on this other podcast.
No, we're actually rocking a full 5 stars on Spotify, so if you could keep that up. It's like 12 reviews.
Cool. Strong work. So when I was doing a little bit of research, I did come across a New York Times article that kind of talked about like research behind reviews, the type of people who review things, how we maybe read them as consumers, et cetera, et cetera. And what's up?
Also,
you're really talking a lot from saying you're not going to talk this episode.
I dialed it back and said I was going to talk 51% of the time. So I'm really trying to dominate the majority. Another thing that really annoys me is people who put too much weight, and I know we're probably going to talk about it, but people who put too much weight into reviews.
I really didn't have that, but I figured it'd come up pretty naturally.
And like, I don't want to throw them under the bus.
You're going to throw him under the bus?
But your dad is a Yelp fiend. And
yeah, I had a feeling he'd come up in this episode.
He believes there is a stark difference between a 4.9 and a 4.7.
If you were to ask the man...
And I'll eat at a 3.5.
If you were to ask the man, do you believe in God? He'd say, I believe in Yelp.
Yeah.
Yelp will guide me and is the only true thing in this world.
I
know.
He is one of those people who like truly will scour for and puts a lot of weight into reviews.
Yes.
And I'm guessing we'll kind of talk a little bit
I'm sure we'll skirt across that. Yeah.
But yeah, but I'm the type of person where it's just like, to me, a 4.2 and a 4.7 are the same.
I agree.
And maybe that's not fair to the 4.7. But I don't see that much of a difference. I literally see it as like, if you're in the 3s, you are clearly below something that is in the 4s. But outside of that, because like
even though like to me, which this is probably like throwing the whole scale out of proportion, I just like am not particular enough that to me a 4 in my brain is almost a 5. Because like I'm like a 4 is a very safe bet.
Yeah.
Because it's basically a 5.
No, yeah, 100%. I agree.
Like 3, you're probably not gonna get anything crazy. Anything below that, maybe don't go.
Right. If anything though, like I see a 4 as like you're probably only sitting at a 4.2 because Karen
right.
didn't get her food
right.
in 15 minutes.
Right.
It took 17.
Right. No, completely. And
those are the types of people who leave reviews.
Yes, which we will like get into, of course, all of that.
Like the people who leave reviews are.
So it's really funny because you can review anything and everything. You pretty much.
No, you can't.
So the New York Times was like, if you want to hear some crazy reviews, look at reviews for the Great Wall of China. And I was like, no. I go to the reviews for the Great Wall of China, which there are like sections and like so there's differentiating like opinions, but whatever. Obviously, expect the normal reviews of like it's too touristy, it's blah blah blah, like expect those, whatever. Like people are obviously can have their own opinions. But when you review something and you give it 3 stars because quote, the local community only speaks Chinese, or
Bro.
you give it 3 stars because, quote, it's cold.
Bro.
I don't know what to tell you.
I just think.
Not that I would be like, I use reviews for products and like food. I don't think I'd really use a review, like a true like Google review or a Yelp or whatever. I don't think I'd really do that for like, I want to go to this destination. Ooh, Google users review the Great Wall of China at like a 70% positive experience. I don't think I wouldn't take that to heart, but like there were so many reviews, like so many. So you know people are reading them. And some of the reasons, which again, if you didn't like it, you didn't like it. If you thought it was so-so, you thought it was so-so.
But like,
I'm not saying it has to have 5.
Things that are out of their control is just, you're an insane person. Go to therapy. Work on your fucking shit because that is, you're insane.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I rated a Wendy's a 3 because the fire alarm went off. Like the Wendy's was very good, but while I was there, the fire alarm went off. So I'm going to have to dock some points. Like, that has nothing to do with anything.
Right.
Like, literally, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Just don't review it at that point.
Right.
Just wait until the next time.
Also, it's a Wendy's.
Oh, that too, yeah.
No,
we always bring that up. How, like, every time we're, like, out and about, and it's like, let's just quickly stop at a Wendy's and get, like, food.
We always
it's
read the
always
reviews.
the worst rated Wendy's ever.
It always is, like,
2
a
stars.
2, yeah.
Do not eat here. And then, like, we drive away with our food, and we're just like...
It's another Wendy's.
It's fine.
Uh-huh.
I paid more than I believe I paid the last time at a Wendy's, but I think that has to do with the market.
Right. So again,
that is insane. It's cold.
I know.
To the touch? Or what?
I think they were
Or it was winter.
I think it was winter.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm just saying. I expected it to be made out of lava.
How is that like I'll say the tourists like group like whatever. How is that a
also,
monuments
they all
problem?
Spoke Chinese.
I know. Well, their argument was, what if I get lost and I don't know how to get unlost? I can't talk to anyone.
Learn Chinese. Or don't fucking go to a country.
Yeah, I was like, I'm not defending them. I'm just like, that was genuinely what they were getting at.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So it got 3 stars because of that.
I don't want to go back into last week's episode, but how are people just so fucking stupid? Or what are we doing wrong again?
Well, as the New York Times article goes to go on, they quoted a study done by the American Marketing Association, which unfortunately I couldn't go and read directly because it's behind a paywall, which is super annoying. But a lot of all of this further information comes from that, which it was mostly seeming to be quoted by a Dr. Semester. He's the one who did the study. So, obviously reviews are subjective, and the tiny subset of people who leave them aren't typically average. Now, this is an insane statement I'm about to say, but this is how they summed up the American Marketing Association study. People who write online reviews
have an IQ below 7
are more likely to buy things in unusual sizes. They don't say what that means. Make returns, be married, have more children, be younger, and less wealthy. Those are all things they took from this study. So you're young.
Okay, young.
Have kids.
Wait, young?
Young.
Stupid.
Presumably.
You have less life experience, so
sure,
it's fair
sure.
to make that. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, what's the next one?
Less money.
Less money. Typically indicative of a lower mental. You're stupid. Okay. Less money. Go ahead.
Make returns. Like return
entitled.
Things they buy.
You're entitled. Okay,
That's
so
not...
stupid, entitled. Okay, keep going.
They buy things in unusual sizes.
Wait. If you have to return it, that means you were probably stupid and ordered the wrong thing. Okay.
Buy things in unusual sizes. No, please try to equate it.
Keep going. What's the next one?
That was pretty much it. Be married. But I was connecting that to having children.
Oh, having children.
Mm-hmm.
I can't think of a dumber thing for you to do. I mean, isn't
that I wish I knew what the original study said, because that is a crazy sentence with so many. We buy things in unusual sizes. So are they unusual size? Are they not a very, very stereotypical too small body size that we're used to in fashion? Is that what we're talking about? And then
you're talking clothing sizes.
That's how I read that. But what else is an unusual size?
Yeah.
I don't know. And then making returns, I don't think returning stuff is necessarily bad. Depends why or how you're doing it. It's literally been proven that sometimes returns are just thrown in the garbage and they don't actually put them back out for sale. So that's not good.
If you're returning something, if you're falling into the thing where it's you can be described as a subset of you make returns and not just you have made a return.
Right.
Because I understand sometimes you just have to.
Right.
Then
but if you're probably
consistently
a bad shopper.
making returns, right, that means you're constantly just buying things on a whim and then waiting until you get it to be beep, boop, beep, boop, beep, or try it on or whatever. And then be no, that's not good enough. And then you send it back.
Yeah. And then they went on to continue saying online reviewers are also 50% more likely to shop sales, and they buy 4 times more the amount of products. Which what I take from that is they seem to focus on lower income. So to a degree, you're probably saying they're going I felt like I did or did not waste my money on this, and it's not like I have a lot of money to waste. So I'd like to tell the world, do or do not waste your money on this.
Or
that's probably where a lot of it's coming from.
Or you have such a main character complex
That as well.
that you feel like because you are the center of your own universe, that your opinion is so important and that all the NPCs around you will not be able to get through their lives if you don't let them know
Right.
about this item.
Right. Also, I've definitely seen this in like comments on social media. So I'm not even shocked about this, but reading it is absolutely infuriating. They also found, which again, I don't know how this was like gathered because unfortunately I couldn't read the freaking study, which was so annoying. They found that
because we're poor and make a lot of purchases.
1 in 15 reviewers tend to not even have purchased the product or supported said brand, but they see themselves as an honorary brand manager and truly just want to like give feedback to the company that they've like noticed, that they feel the company should know. And sometimes depending on how it's written, like what it shows up under, how much you're paying attention as a consumer, it's really hard to discern what that person is actually saying there. You know, whether they like gave commentary, didn't give commentary, it's a little bit vague. So you're assuming they're talking about a product, but they're actually just like, here's my opinions on how you represent yourself online. I think if you did this, you'd actually be more successful because, you know, people online who like need to tell companies and everything like how to be better, but like they're not actually like wanting them to be better in anything. They're just like giving their opinion. 1 in 15 reviewers does this. Like they haven't even bought the thing. They just want you to know how they feel. Because the idea is if you leave a review, the like company will like change, which maybe I feel like more often than not, they don't. Anyway. So basically
we've done the fucked up thing of making people think that their voice and opinion matters, and it frankly doesn't. It doesn't. Like 95% of the time, whatever you think or feel does not fucking matter to anybody else.
Right.
Nobody fucking cares. And especially if you're talking to a company.
Right.
That company has 90 other fucks who are going to buy their thing. They don't give two shits about you and why you're not buying it. They are it's literally the joke of like, oh, and here's our recommendation bin. Put all your recommendations in here. And it's just a fucking trash bin.
Yeah. Yeah. And then kind of like last little bit is it's been studied that TripAdvisor's super contributors, so I presume you have to hit a threshold of so many reviews, tend to leave more negative reviews than those who are deemed like less constant reviewers. Generally being more critical can be viewed as being more honest or can be seen as like insightful. It can be seen as like, oh, this person's so knowledgeable because they're being so critical and like really analyzing something. So that can tend to lead to overly negative reviews, but that also can, on the flip side, reading a negative review, you as the consumer are like, oh, this is so insightful because you see it as being critical of whatever it is. So there is a lot to say. I don't have like numbers, but I think at this point it's like general knowledge that like we are as humans a lot more likely to focus on the negative. People who, the whole like vocal minority, people who are extra passionate, emotional about something are more likely to cause a stink about something than someone who's like so happy about a product. Like someone who's devastated about a product versus absolutely overjoyed by a product, you have a higher chance of the devastated being reviewed versus this could be the best product I've ever bought. I still don't feel called to like tell the internet about it.
I hate the vocal minority.
So
I hope to never be a part of it.
Obviously this all started with me being like, why I hate when I see like 3 stars reviews. This is why it started for me, is I hate when I see 3-star reviews and it truly has nothing to do with what they're reviewing for whatever reason. Like that drives me up a wall because you are being useless and just like clogging it.
Yeah, it gives me chest pains.
Yeah, it like really makes me uncomfortable. I also like I
said chest pains, like checker pains. I meant chest. I'm sorry. Just wanted to throw that out there.
So like it drives me crazy when that happens because you're just like clogging up where people are genuinely looking for answers.
Yeah, like clogging an artery for me.
And 2, what will add an extra level of anger to me is when people will do this to a small business because they are much less likely to have the level of reviews a bigger corporation or famous product will have. And you are now like probably skewing their general like review. And that is now showing up on Google, on Yelp, on et cetera, et cetera. And not to say you can't have like a issue with something, but I just think like there's no thought process of like you have a much bigger impact on a smaller business deciding to like raise a stink when one, smaller businesses are generally much more likely to like help you, communicate with you, etc. You are making a much bigger impact by like throwing a little hissy fit over something with them. Which again, if they've genuinely wronged you, they've genuinely wronged you. I'm not saying don't leave bad reviews. I just think there's like no mental like, what is the impact I'm doing here? Is it actually anything? Does it need to be said? Am I creating more chaos than necessary? Because I fell down a bit of a rabbit hole of like, as soon as you Google like, basically like I was trying to find like examples or if there was any kind of thing on like this whole 3-star review thing. 'Cause to me, like 3 stars is so like, it's just whatever as a review that like you really have to like read the review to be like, what is someone really trying to say when something's 3 stars? Because clearly you didn't love it, clearly you didn't hate it. And it was so sad the amount of forums that were like, I just got my first 3-star review and like it's kind of something I can't help, or it's this and that, or it's literally a piece of my thing that's in the description that someone opted to not read, but they're now reviewing me poorly because they're not happy with what they chose.
Illiteracy. Yeah. Well,
and it is devastating reading those forums.
As a business owner, it is on you to quickly teach somebody how to read before they make a purchase. So,
right.
But I also think some of that issue is the fact that we, not to like bring up video games, but we put too much emphasis into what other people think.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And I don't know why I don't know why it needs to be a 4 or a 5 to be good.
Right.
I don't know why it needs to be an 8, 9, or 10 to be good. You know what I mean? Like, what is wrong with a 7? What's wrong with a 6?
Right.
A 6 is equivalent to a 3 out of 5. Is there really anything wrong with that? Like,
no,
really.
There
isn't, but there is, because societally we've all agreed that if it's not a 4 or a 5, it's bad.
Right. I think a lot
of that,
what I mean?
And it's just like,
which I might be speaking out of my ass here. I do think, unfortunately, a lot of that has come down to companies really not wanting to be labeled that because you just like look worse online.
Yeah. No, I know. I'm just saying.
But
like,
yeah.
A 3, like, I will never forget. My mom went through some sort of like customer service. I think it was for like DirecTV. Okay. Let's just say it was for TV for sure.
Yeah.
I don't remember who it was exactly. So this isn't like a gotcha or anything. She went through customer service. In the end, she was fairly happy with like the outcome.
Yeah.
So afterwards, they like called and were like, "Can you just type in the number out of 10?"
Yeah.
That like
you felt
represents your satisfaction. And she put a 9.
Mm-hmm.
She then proceeded to get harassed.
Yeah.
And like asked, like multiple times was called and asked, like, why did you only give a 9?
That's insane. Well, remember, we got some furniture delivered when we like moved in here, and we were given a card that's explicitly said, if you do not, like when we asked for your review, if you do not put a 9 or a 10, we will assume you were unsatisfied with this. Like, and I'm sitting there going like, is that going to reflect poorly on the delivery people?
Right.
Because they've done nothing wrong. Like,
Isn't that insane?
Yeah.
And also, I think that's like strong arming. Like,
yes.
Are they just saying that to say that?
I mean, probably.
Because then it's just like, then what is the fucking point of a 10-point scale?
Right. No,
There's no nuance.
Right.
It's either a 9, a 10, or a 1 is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Because you're saying anything below a 9 is treated as a 1.
Yeah. I know.
Fuck off.
I know. I totally forgot about that until you sent that story. I was like, yeah, really just recently that happened to us.
This isn't even a part of the conversation that we're having, but like, it's like we've been giving too much choice.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's simple. It's black or white. It's a yes or a no.
Well,
but we've
been given too much choice, but as soon as we try to have nuance, they're like, why are you saying you didn't like it?
Well, no, that's the thing. We've gotten too granular now. Like you know, it was always like, what's the thing? If you went to buy jeans, you had 3 options. And like, that was it. But now when you go to buy jeans, you have a million different options in terms of finding the right pair of jeans. Right. And like, all jeans were basically the same. And it was just like, you either bought a pair of jeans or you didn't. And your options were a blue pair, a light blue pair, or a black pair or something like that. Right. Like, and that was always the thing. And it was like, you either bought it or you didn't.
Right.
But now it's like, you can spend a full fucking day and somehow only leave with 1 fucking pair of jeans. And guess what? They're blue.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And we've been given so much choice. And like, in that same vein, it's like, why are we given choice when it comes to reviewing? Why isn't it just simply yes or no? 70% of people said yes. 30% of people said no.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that would be a much better way of doing it instead of getting into the nitty gritty of like, well, I'm a soft yes.
Right.
It's just like, no, stop. Make it black or white. These are the instances where it's like black or white.
Yeah.
Make it simple. Keep it simple, stupid.
I can't think of any off the top of my head, but I know there are some sites that pretty much do just go, would you recommend this to a friend? And I really like that method of like...
And then you say yes, and they're like, how many stars?
Right, probably.
You know what I mean?
Probably,
like, it's just like, why? What does a 5 mean that a 4 doesn't?
Right. Like, I say to myself, I don't hate the star method. I don't hate the 5-star method, but I am kind of like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, because I don't
just means like,
because I don't like
it. A 5
it.
is like an enthusiastic yes.
Right.
A 4 is just yes. A 3 is I could go either way.
Right.
A 2 is a soft no.
Right.
And a 1 is a no way.
Right. I really do.
Just say yes or no.
I really do think about it on terms of like what I recommend, some of the not. But like, it's so funny though. And this is not really connected. Now we're just talking about like the rating method, which is fine. I've said everything I wanted to say. I think about it and I'm like, I've attempted to start reviewing books I've read. Just for me, just so I can be like, how do I really feel about this? Because if it was up to, I am one of those people who'd be like, I love everything. Like, I have a really bad time like reviewing things on a scale of like being critical.
And that's my problem with like movies. I say that all the time.
Right.
It's very hard to give me a movie that like I don't like.
Right.
Like I can always find the gold nugget in the turd.
Yeah.
You
Exactly. I was just.
But I can never find the turd nugget in the bar of gold.
I can't find the turd nugget in the bar of gold. No, but so I started trying to review my books lately. And what's funny is I do rate most out of 4. But in my brain, that's just because I'm like, well, it wasn't like one of the best books I've ever read. But that doesn't mean
100%.
I would sit there and like tell the author, like, you're a 4 out of 5, like blah, 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 blah. I'd be like, oh, it's really good. It's not like going to hit my faves of all time. Right. But it's really good. I think you'd enjoy it.
That's how I am with movies and video games. It's everything is an 8 out of 10 at least.
Absolutely.
Sometimes a 7.
But even 7's good.
Right.
Like we say 7 out of 10 all the time, and I'm like, but that's good. That means you're gonna have a good time.
That's the benchmark of like, this was good. You like
because
7
you should be allowed to enjoy something without it needing to be the best thing you've ever experienced.
7 is a recommendation from me.
Yeah.
6 is when I start to go like, I still liked this, but I'm not sure
who I could recommend.
Like this.
Yeah.
A 5. I wouldn't rate anything a 5.
Right.
I don't see anything wrong with a 5, but I wouldn't rate anything that way.
Right.
Everything is a 7 or up.
I agree.
10 is reserved for the best of the best.
Yeah.
And 9 is like, I'd probably rate most things a 9 realistically. Because I probably got through it. I got the platinum and it's just like, I had fun.
I know. But then I think about that and I'm like, okay, so that's how I rate things. So like, but if I were to rate, I just like, I see things, I guess, differently in some ways. Like I can't equate... I guess I'm just not clearly I'm not a person who feels passionate enough to like go review something online. If I do, it's probably like a business I like very much care about, and like I'm reviewing it because I want people to see it. Like that would probably
go for like small businesses.
So I'd go for like small businesses.
You
that's just how I would use it, and I understand that's not how everyone would. And if I had a horrible review, a horrible experience, I probably wouldn't write about it. I would tell my close friends and family, like, I had a bit of a meh review experience there, like maybe don't, which is just as powerful. Like word of mouth is incredibly powerful. So you're still doing something. But I just like, it's so rare I feel passionate enough to like
carve that in the forever
because that
machine.
shit stays there. And like there's all these policies about like, well, as long as they're not like saying something outlandish, like it stays. Like, and sometimes like even if it has nothing to do with them, business owners are like fighting companies to be like, this has nothing to do with me, and it's like impacting my reviews, and like that's a really scary thing for small businesses. And so it's like, I don't know, maybe I'm just like, I mean, really, I just don't care enough is probably the end. Cause like I don't see my opinion reigning supreme over like strangers on the internet. Like I just don't, I don't know. It's funny to think about because I enjoy rating systems for some things, but like as we've pretty much established, we're pretty positive raters unless you've like hit our 5 movies we never will watch. We will yell at people for watching.
Right.
But that's 5 in like the how many movies we watched. Like I would never actually
stop talking about movies.
I'm sorry. I just like I don't know. I
but
just
seriously,
can't be mad about. I can't be mad enough.
I just don't understand why we've given the consumer should absolutely have a voice and all that stuff.
Yeah, I like when people like put notes.
I just don't understand why we gave them such a voice.
Yeah.
Like, and by that I literally mean this whole like scale operation.
Yeah.
Just literally like the whole would you recommend this to a friend?
Yeah.
And you can type a little blurb and explain, it was cloudy that day and that really put you in a foul mood, and this shirt that you bought really turned it around.
Right.
Fantastic.
Right, whatever.
So the answer to the question was yes, and that's really all I needed.
Right.
You know what I mean? But we've overcomplicated it.
Yeah.
We've overcomplicated it so much.
We've overcomplicated it and put such a price on what you actually want the outcome to be.
Right. And I want to be clear, like, I think the fact that we have choice is amazing as well.
Yeah.
We have too much choice, though. We
Yeah.
absolutely do. And, like, I would rather have too much choice than not enough.
But it does end up causing weird things.
There are times, though, where you
yeah.
can look back and say, like, holy shit, again, the whole jeans thing where it's like, holy shit, I spent 3 hours finding my perfect pair of jeans.
Right.
Kind of wish the simple, like,
original system was there, right?
You have 3 options. You either want them or you don't.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying that's better because those jeans were like, everybody then looked the same. Everybody was wearing the same thing. And like, that's ultimately not good.
And they quite often cut out a lot of body types that didn't work for them.
Right, exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
No, yeah. I completely hear you.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, at the end of the day, I would say both you and I, when we like see reviews, we are not people to I look at them sometimes for like certain products just to get like, especially like sometimes sizing, sometimes stuff like that, like people, because it's online shopping, if you're doing it, can be hard to judge like certain things. So like I will read reviews from time to time, or just people being like, this was my experience. I always take them with a grain of salt because people are feeling whatever they're feeling for whatever reason, and like expecting products to do sometimes things they're not meant to do.
Somebody's reviewing a laptop and they're just like 1 out of 5 stars. Oh, what happened? Well, I hit it with my hammer and it broke.
Why it no work? You said it was indestructible. Yeah. I
should be able to hit my laptop with a hammer and it still works.
Yeah. Reviews are a very funny thing. Like very funny.
They aren't funny. They literally give me like chest pain.
Sometimes I do when I'm really just feeling like killing time, I do dig through Amazon reviews because that is the wild, wild west of crazy reviews. Just because like, I don't know, I guess people go on there for fun and just comment a bunch of shit, which is insane.
It's just so annoying.
Yeah.
It's so annoying. It's just like,
yeah.
Literally everybody thinks that everything is just simply made for them.
But just remember, if someone is reviewing something, they are probably not very wealthy, married, with kids, young, buy unusual sizes, and fat. They return a lot.
Stupid.
I hate the unusual sizes thing. Also, they were just like, so it's probably not the average person. I was like, you just described so many things. What is the average person?
I literally do stand by that, like, somewhere in there, stupid has to play into effect. Because I don't think anybody with a 150 IQ is leaving reviews. Is 150 like genius level?
I don't know what any IQ means.
I think you don't want to be below 70.
But
if you are, it's okay. We still love you. I still think you deserve to be treated like a human being. But I do wonder if I wonder if they could do the study and be like, if your IQ is below 110, you're more likely, you're more susceptible to like leaving a review. I'm just so curious.
I don't know.
Because I do legitimately stand by there are so many stupid people. And I do really think that I'm better than them, and also that they leave reviews and I don't leave reviews, which is another way I'm better than them.
I see.
No, I'm just curious.
Yeah.
I'm curious.
Well, I could tell they were focusing on people like shopping below sale, a lot of sales, buying more products than the average person. Like they either, which you kind of said this.
No, you brought up
have
a good
a
point.
complex of like, I do think there's value. Again, I think there's value to like, you only have X amount of money to spend on
and
certain
you want to
things.
make sure you're
You
helping
don't wanna
others. You
waste
see
it.
community and
Yeah.
you like want
I mean,
the
are you
world,
kidding
your
me?
community to get that same.
YouTube reviews are a huge thing, and like I've watched a few for things I'm like really back and forth on.
Should
like,
we become a review channel?
No,
Why?
because we'd have to like buy shit and then talk about it.
We have a lot of shit currently. We can start reviewing with what we have.
I guess. I don't know. I have mixed feelings on it. Although I used to like mildly review makeup, so I guess.
So we can?
I don't know. I think it'd be funny from time to time. We'd have to think about it.
We can.
I don't like the idea of buying things just to review them.
Spin-off
I don't
channel.
like that.
Spin-off channel.
Okay.
SM reviews. And
we're just tasting soups.
And we review video games that we play.
Oh, so we're just basement gamer?
No, we're just like couple.
That's what you used to do.
We're like couple reviews. We're like girlfriend reviews, but we're a couple reviewing the game as a couple. Like how, if you are a couple, how does this work for you?
Right. I like that. I mean, we could just do it on SMSoup.
I know.
Yeah, you said spin-off channel. I'm
well,
saying
yeah,
we
but
do same channel.
If you're not thinking about monetization, you're a fucking idiot.
No, so I get it from that perspective, but they seem to add in that like they're buying a lot. So I do get with the knowing the world of YouTube reviews, I do think there's a bit of like, I want to be the pro, the one who knows what's going on, so I can tell people what to buy and not buy. So like, I think sometimes it's a goal to just like try shit just so you can go online and tell people how it went. Even if you're not like a reviewer or not. I think like we've kind of, in the world of capitalism and overconsumption we've created, I think it's very easy to fall into that of like, let me just try it. And then I love telling people how it went. Like we do that a lot. Like average people. Although apparently not average according to the study. I don't know. I see it falling into both those. And we're not going to buy shit just to review it because that's silly.
Too late.
What'd you buy?
I went on Amazon and I looked at deals today.
Uh-huh.
Did you know? And this was a 5% deal, so...
So a horrible deal? 5%.
Yeah. But 5% of $3,000...
What'd you buy for $3,000? Bought a mini home off Amazon for $3,000.
Mini fridge.
Oh, $3,000 mini fridge.
Mm-hmm.
Jeez Louise, guy. That's so much money.
It comes with a mini fridge inside of it.
Oh, it's worth it. So anyway.
It's the Inception fridge.
Reviews are weird. Sometimes we like using them, sometimes we don't.
I would say let us know if there is a thing that you feel like maybe there's something we're missing.
Like probably.
Right? Because like we're only thinking about food.
I'm thinking about like food and products
and
for the most part.
entertainment.
Yeah.
But like what specific, like I guess I'm saying like specifically what is the type of product where you would want
an in-depth like skill review?
Yeah. That we're not like thinking of. If you have something like that, let us know.
Yeah.
And also like what do you depend on reviews for? Because
Right.
I don't think it's
And
bad
would it
to.
change? No, I again,
If that's
I
what you,
use
if
reviews.
that's
Would it change the experience if it was just would recommend, wouldn't recommend with the opportunity to have a note versus a 1 to 5 scale with the opportunity to leave a note?
Or
I guess,
1 to
do you
10
think
scale.
do you think that would make a difference? I really don't. I don't think that would make a difference in my
you,
shopping.
you don't think yes, no versus 1 through 5 would make a difference?
I don't for me.
It would absolutely
Because
make a difference.
but you were the one saying we shouldn't have the scale.
I'm saying we should have yes, no.
Yeah. I'm saying like ultimately I don't think I would miss the 1 to 5 was what I was getting at. Like I think the yes no would fulfill my
I thought
needs
you were saying, like,
when
it
I
wouldn't
look
change
at a
anything.
review. I mean, it did say that sentence, but I guess that's not what I meant. It wouldn't change how I look at
You
reviews.
think it would be better?
Yes.
Well, yeah, I don't really think, because I try not to really read into reviews anyway. But it would be nice to just see like yes, no. Okay, let me go to the no's and just see why.
Yeah.
And then they say, and I go, piss off.
That's
and then
pretty
I buy
much what
it.
I do. I go, oh, it has like 5 1-stars. Why does it have those? It's always something stupid.
I sneezed
or,
on it.
Or
and
whatever.
Then it's snot on it. That's disgusting.
Like it's not always. Sometimes it's very outrageous reason, and I go, okay, so this is not applicable to me.
Yeah. Would yes, no suffice for you?
For me, yeah.
No, I'm asking the listeners. Would yes, no suffice? Why? What do you depend on reviews for? Like the product, food, whatever it is. Like, what do you find that you depend on them for, if at all? And I think that's it. Those are the two main things.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm curious.
Yeah, no, I am. I'm like fine to be told I'm wrong or people disagree with me.
I don't think you're wrong, and I don't necessarily think it's like a matter of disagreeing. We're simply saying that we don't see the benefits of them.
Right. Well, I'd rate that opinion a 3 out of 5.
I still do sometimes consider them. I see how they're useful too, and I don't think less of somebody who's like, I only played this game because it was a 7 out of 10 or higher. Like, if that's what you do, your time is valuable.
Right.
So if that is the best way for you, like, by all means.
I will say when I'm thinking about like restaurants and food, you know what? I'll glance at like, oh, it has this rating or on whatever. What I find so much more important, which this might be really not applicable to some people, if they have good preview photography, I am way more likely to trust that food place than like a review. You know what I mean? Like if they have a good photo of some of their dishes that you can like look up on Google, I would trust that more than a review.
Depends on the quality of the photo. I'm thinking like fast food commercial.
No, I don't want that.
I want like too good.
I want a pub in my area, and they're like, oh, here's our burger with fries.
I want somebody,
and it's like it's as if it was served to someone.
I want somebody.
And they took their photo.
I want the personal photo of like, this is what I ordered and this is how it looked coming out.
That's fair too.
That's the perfect photo.
Yeah.
Because I'm okay if the food looks a little sloppy.
Oh, I don't need to be pretty.
Exactly.
I just want when I say nice photo.
But when they take a nice photo, it's staged. And it's like, you then work it in your head that it's going to look like that. And then it comes out and your Dave single is this.
Yeah, but it also means they like put effort in. And so normally that means like when you're not thinking fast food.
They put effort in.
Yeah, but we all know
to dupe
fast
you.
Food. We all know fast food. But anyway, that's it. Give us a rating. Or don't. But yeah, as always, you can find our socials in the description of the episode, or you can find this little quips of this podcast, or maybe future reviews on Instagram and TikTok at SMSoup Podcast. If you're listening to this on audio, we do a video version as well on YouTube at SMSoup Podcast, where maybe you'll see some of these future reviews. We're going to review our cat Grogu first. 4 out of 5.
He's got a bit of an attitude.
But anyway, thank you all for listening and for watching, and we will see you next week. Bye.